Hi guys, I'm back again with 3 new changes that I want to describe in this video to hopefully solve the problems you are having tracking microtubules. And as you can tell, I've already loaded the AVI and loaded a template. This is the first frame from the AVI you guys sent me with the troubling microtubule encased in green. So let's take a look at how poorly this tracks. Okay, now as you can see, this is pretty poor, very bad data. However, there is a line here that is correct. It just couldn't. You have to take it out from this poor data around it. Now to do that, I have this option to remove points. Now you click that button, and a new window opens up. This is the original data, and this is how you can. It's going to be the data you play around with. Now this sub VI actually allows you to eliminate certain points from the data you got. The index refers to the points you want to remove, and the length is how many points in a row you want to remove. So if you watch this data, as I increase to 1, 2, 3, 4, you see the points actually are removed from there. So let's remove this section down here. Now there's the first one, and I'm going to increase the length. There we go. Now when I'm happy with it, I can click this button, remove these points, and this updates. Now I can also remove these points at the end by doing the same thing. There we go. Now when I'm done, I click the stop button, or I can click the stop button, or if I click this button before that, I'll just have to make this length 0 and click this stop, because this actually removed the first point, as you watch here. So I click this button, and there's our new data. Now we have a slope of 0.15 and tangential velocity of 2.9, and it's looking pretty good. A lot better than what the previous was looking like. Now there's also another option here if you want. Now I've added the ability for this to actually track a point revolving around the microtubule instead of the whole microtubule itself. So to do this, let's create a template of a small point on it, draw the ROI again, match it, and let's see how this works. There we go. Now you can't use this data because this assumed that you were tracking a whole microtubule and not a point. So to fix that, you'll have to click this button. The previous data was tangential velocity. Here we go. Now what we're looking at here is position versus time. And again, we're going to want to delete these poor points out of it. There we go. Remove this point. Now, this should look like the outline of the ellipse that you were just looking at, and indeed it does. So let's click the stop button. And now we're here. So now this graph is updated to show tangential velocity on the y-axis and time on the x. This should be about it should have about a slope of 0, which it does, and it'll tell you. This will then tell you the angular velocity from that. This will find the average tangential velocity times it divided by the radius and give you the angular velocity. Now I've also added in this draw ROI from the loaded template. If you click this, it'll draw the ROI from whatever created this template. I found this very convenient when I was debugging. Now, real quick, when you want to do this watch a point moving around the microtubule, a problem you have is if you make this template too small, this is very small, and you click it, an error message might come up that says you forgot to load or create a template, or the loaded template was too small. So it wasn't enough information for it to actually match, so you have to make sure it's sufficiently large enough. There we go. So hopefully that solved the problem you guys are having with tracking this microtubule. And if there's anything else, let me know.